Hi guys, my name is Isa. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about falling in love with your appearance. Let's get started. As I was growing up, I very much struggled with how I looked like. It definitely started when I noticed that people around me started to have an opinion on me and my looks. I've spent countless hours struggling to make my curly hair straight. I started wearing makeup because I heard two girls call me ugly. I've thought about weight loss almost every day of my life. I didn't like myself. I didn't like how I looked like, and it was really hard. I feel like hating on yourself is very exhausting, both mentally, emotionally, and even physically. I would receive compliments from my friends and from my family, but I didn't believe them. I was so sure that I was the ugliest person in the whole world in my school, in my classroom. So whenever I did receive a compliment, I would be like, why are you lying to me? How have I fooled this person into thinking that I am pretty? Then when I started high school, I started contemplating the idea that I was pretty or that I could be considered as someone pretty. I wasn't sure enough to not need external validation. I needed proof that I was pretty. I needed to see people's reactions to my appearance. I needed to know what they were saying. I needed to know what they were thinking. So I could have a full idea of how I looked like and how I actually am, how I'm being perceived. It all changed when I started working on my healing journey and on my self-concept. It almost feels like I developed a crush on myself. It got to a point where I couldn't really stop looking at myself in the mirror, and sometimes I would find myself in the middle of a room and I would think, everyone here thinks I'm beautiful. After spending my whole life thinking that I was ugly, suddenly feeling like I am beautiful is the best sensation I've ever experienced, and I want to experience it as much as I can. And not only that, I also want you to experience it. Obviously, feeling ugly limited the way that I carried myself, the things that I let myself experience, and my self-concept. And just reflecting on how other people would compliment me in days where I felt the ugliest, I realized, how come it is very easy for other people to see us as beautiful or see us as someone who's pretty or attractive or handsome, but when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we think we're ugly? And since almost everyone can relate, I think we can rearrange that question, right? So instead of asking ourselves, how come other people have an easier time seeing the beauty in us than we have in ourselves, how come we have an easier time seeing beauty in other people than in ourselves? Because in the same way that other people would give me compliments and I would give myself none, I would give compliments to other people while giving myself none. I don't think our answers are going to differ that much. I realized I don't hold other people to the same beauty standards that I hold myself. I'm not expecting other people to look attractive in every single picture they take. I'm not expecting everyone else to be the skinniest person in the whole room. I'm not expecting them to have flawless hair or flawless makeup every day. So why was I expecting that from myself? Whenever I look at other people, I don't pick them apart. I don't think, oh, I don't like their hair and their nose and their eyebrows. Like, the only person that I would talk like that about was myself. And when I was thinking about beauty standards, I realized my beauty standard seems to be the opposite of how I look like. How come the perfect hair happens to be the opposite of my hair? And how come the perfect eye color is the opposite of my eye color? No doubt I didn't like my hair or my skin tone or my eyes or my lashes. I grew up hating almost everything because I thought I am literally the opposite of beauty standard. And you're going to see this almost everywhere. People with straight hair want curly hair, and then people with curly hair want straight hair. There are some tall people who would rather be short, and then short people who would rather be tall. I'll give you an example. I am Latin, I'm from Honduras, and my experience in high school was usually the pretty girls or the popular girls happen to have a very light skin tone. I don't know if this is how everyone felt. I just know that this is the way that I perceived it when I was in school. I know that this is very similar to some of my friends' experiences, friends that didn't grow up in the same country. So even in different countries, usually the most popular girls or the prettiest girls happen to be lighter skin tone. So I grew up thinking I would be prettier if I have lighter skin tone, and I felt very insecure of my skin tone. I felt like I just wasn't pretty. So then fast forward, I moved to Canada where almost everyone has a light skin tone, and it was very surprising to see a lot of girls tanning to have a darker skin tone. And to be honest, that experience made me like my skin tone way more. But it's just insane how I grew up wanting to look so different. And then people who had what I wanted to look how I looked. I think think that's the trend. The beauty standard is not something we all collectively think, but rather we all collectively think the beauty standard is the opposite of how we look like. On that note, I started questioning, where did I even get my beauty standard? Where does the beauty standard even come from? Because in my mind, my beauty standard is what everyone thinks is beautiful. As I was growing up, I thought everyone around me thought light skin tone, light hair, straight hair, light eyes was like the most beautiful or attractive thing someone could have. But to be honest, even if that was what everyone thought, even if everyone agreed on that beauty standard, that is not enough reason for us to adopt that beauty standard. Just because everyone around you thinks that one specific skin tone is the best skin tone in the whole world and it's the only definition of beautiful, that is not a good enough reason for you to consider that the beauty standard. And I will tell you why. My skin tone should be my beauty standard. Not your skin tone, not her skin tone, not their skin tone, my skin tone. Why? Because when I go to buy makeup, my concealer shade, my foundation shade, my blush, they are all based on my skin tone. Can you imagine me going to Sephora and getting the lightest shade for my concealer just because that's your skin tone? That's not gonna look good on me. It's gonna look good on you, but it's not gonna look good on me. So why is that my standard? My standard should be my skin tone because that's what I'm working with. So my concealer should be based on my skin tone. Same with clothing. If I am shopping, shouldn't I get the colors that suit my skin tone the most instead of the colors that suit you the most? Because I would be the one wearing them. So why wouldn't my skin tone be my standard? And this applies to everything. I naturally have dark brown hair. It's almost black, right? I dyed it. It looks brown because I dyed it, but I naturally have dark brown hair. If my beauty standard is blonde hair, I will ruin my hair bleaching it. And I have ruined my hair because of bleach before. I cannot go that light. I think the lightest I could go is maybe orange, and that would be pushing it. If I actually tried to become blonde, I would ruin my hair. And honestly, I don't even know if blonde would suit my skin tone. Maybe it would. I just know that brown suits it 10 times better. There are so many different body types, so many different hairstyles, so many different hair colors, eye colors. There's so many of everything we can think of. So why are we limiting beauty to just one? Why am I limiting beauty to just one body type when there's like 6 body types? Why am I limiting beauty to just one hair color when there's like 1,000 hair colors? Why are we doing that? We don't have to. And not only are you limiting the beauty that you receive from other people, but you're also limiting your own beauty. You are wasting your life away wishing that you looked entirely different. At the end of the day, you just want to look a certain way because that's what you think people think it's cute. Not because it's going to make you feel better. It's all about what they might think, what they consider is beautiful, what's the beauty standard for other people. If it was actually for yourself, you would like yourself for how you already look like. We're trying to please people without realizing that we should be the ones who we are pleasing. We should be our priority. You are allowed to like yourself. You are allowed to love your features. You're allowed to want to look like yourself. You're allowed to not share the same beauty standard as other people. You did not come into this world so that you could look the opposite of how you look like. If you're always trying to look like someone else, you will always fail. You will never be as beautiful as you could be. Beauty standards are a decision. If you look at yourself in the mirror with the purpose of embracing yourself, instead of looking at yourself wanting to criticize yourself and judge yourself and make you feel bad because you don't look like someone else, your relationship with yourself will become so different and will improve so much. You have to intentionally decide that you are the definition of beautiful. Because you are. Believe it or not, you are. Decide that you're the beauty standard. Decide that curly hair is the most beautiful hair in the whole world. Decide that brown eyes are the cutest eyes in the whole world. Decide that your skin tone is the hottest skin tone in the whole world. Literally sit yourself down in front of a mirror and take note of what you like of yourself. Sit down with the intention of complimenting yourself instead of comparing yourself. What do you like about your eyebrows? What do you like about your nose? What do you like about your lips? Give yourself reasons to like yourself. If you're always giving yourself reasons to hate yourself, do the opposite. And when you start doing this, it's going to feel so fake. If you've spent your whole life hating on yourself, suddenly telling yourself that you're beautiful is going to feel fake. But think about it. You have to spend as much time, or maybe even more, complimenting yourself than you did comparing yourself. If you would wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and go like, I'm so ugly. Now you need to wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are. And you do that enough times until that becomes your normal. Because you will never look your best if you're trying to look like somebody else. You won't. That's the truth. If you and I are in a competition and how to look the best, with my features, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win because I naturally have an advantage. I already have my features. In the same way, if you and I are competing over who looks the best you, I'm going to lose. Do you realize how much effort I would have to do just to look like you? And not even you on your best day, just to look like you the moment that you wake up. I don't have your features. And even if we have the same hair color, we probably don't have the same hair texture. Even if we have the same skin tone, we probably don't have the same undertones, or maybe we don't have the same height. It is so hard for me to look like you because I am not you. In the same way that it is so hard for you to look like me, it is so easy for me to look like me because I already have my features. I don't have to try hard. I already look like me. So why would I go out of my way to look like someone else who looks entirely the opposite of me and then try to look beautiful under those standards? That's so much effort. Do you know how beautiful I could look like? I mean, look at me. Do you know how beautiful I could look like if I decided to embrace my features? If instead of hating my features, I think, okay, this is what I have. How can I work with what I have? Instead of against what I have, how can I work with what I have? That's the most beautiful you will ever look like. When you accept your features, when you embrace your features, when you embrace your body type, when you embrace your looks and you work with it. Not because you want to change it, but because you like it, but because you love it. No one can be as beautiful as you can be like you. In the same way, no one can be as beautiful as I can be like me, because nobody is me. We are all a different combination of features, which makes us unique. Use that to your advantage. Nobody can look like you. Nobody should dare to look like you because they can't pull it off the way that you can. You are meant to look like you. And when you accept that that's how you look like, when you accept that those are your features, when you accept all of that, you're going to see how that is a good thing. I'm telling you, I spent my whole life hating on myself, which is insane because I had this same face. I literally still have my baby face. So how come it was so easy for me to think that I was ugly, and then now it is so easy for me to think that I'm beautiful? Because my face didn't change that much. My mindset did. My beauty standards did. And that's why you have to become your own beauty standard. When I took the decision to become my own beauty standard, I did feel some resistance because I felt like nobody around me would share the same beauty standard. But that's okay, because technically nobody has the same beauty standard. Everyone has different preferences. Me and someone else can look at the same person. I might think they're the hottest person in the whole world. They might think they're the ugliest person in the whole world. Like, everyone has a different preference, and you're allowed to have yourself as a preference. Why? Because it's a personal choice. I promise you, the only person that it affects when you hate how you look like is yourself. If I look at myself in the mirror and I criticize myself and I compare myself, is that going to affect you or is that going to affect me? You deciding to hate yourself is also a personal choice. So do you want to hate yourself or do you want to love yourself? When you make yourself your own beauty standard, a lot of things change. The way you see and perceive yourself is going to change. The way you feel about yourself, the way you treat yourself, how you carry yourself. It expands your appreciation of beauty, not only in yourself, but also in other people. And it also influences the people that you keep around yourself. If you love yourself and you feel good about yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to hold a relationship or a friendship with someone who makes you feel bad about yourself. In the same way that you wouldn't want to date someone who wants you to look entirely different, you shouldn't want that for yourself. If you don't feel beautiful, it's because you haven't allowed yourself to be the most beautiful you can be. The most beautiful you can be is with your features, your acceptance, and your appreciation. Just know that you're allowed to live a life where you don't hate yourself. You're allowed to live a life where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like so jealous of your partner. You're allowed to live a life where you're not constantly comparing yourself to other people. And that can be your life if you let yourself live that life. I hope that in the same way that I could fall in love with myself, you're able to fall in love with yourself, because I promise you, no one can be as beautiful as you can be. No one can win at being you. Even if someone tried to look like you, they would have to try so hard for something that is so easy for you. Now imagine putting that effort into loving yourself instead of hating yourself. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that after this video you're able to see yourself in a different light. I'm sending you so much love. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my channel for more episodes.